Hello everybody, welcome to another fun live stream. I am continuing to work on my Lone Star ombre quilt diamonds. So last night I did a live stream where we cut these bad boys out. So I have three strips out of my 6 strips cut. And so I need to finish cutting my strips. They look like this. Okay, and in yesterday's live stream, we were talking about how I felt like I didn't have enough pink because on a couple, well, mostly on this one, on the last one that I cut, I had a lot more pink left over than I was hoping for, but I didn't have enough to cut the strip out. So I was thinking about this last night and I actually had a dream about it. And so when I cut out my next 3 strips, I want to show you what we can do to give myself a little more pink and a little bit less green, because from what we talked about, let me go to my overhead. You can see, let me zoom this in as well here. There we go. See that a little bit better. Okay, so we were talking about like the color variation of the ombre, and I was saying how I have quite a bit of green. So like if I look at the medium scope of the colors, I have like 1, maybe 2 pink, 1 red, 1 orange, 2 yellow, and then like 5 green and 4 blue, which is fine because I love those parts of the rainbow, but I wanted it to be more equalized. And so when I designed the ombre, I thought I was adding more pink, but I didn't account for the times that the pink would not make it and would get cut off. So I also know that as I cut these out, I should have like 5 or 6 extra of these pieces for however many that I need to make my full 8-pointed Lone Star star for my quilt. So I know that I'll be able to spare some of these, and I'll probably spare the green ones just so that I can equalize the rainbow as much as I can. However, I had a dream about what I could do to mitigate losing too much pink. So I'm gonna jump in here really quick, and I am planning to live stream for a little while, and we are going to adjust our rainbow just a tiny bit so that I can get at least a couple of my pink strips to use within my collection, because I'm really sad that I lost, that whole pink one, and I don't have a lot of pink ones in my full rainbow selection. So I want to show you, I had a dream about cutting these, and I realized that when I am cutting the strip, I was thinking that my dark color always had to be on top and I had to cut it that way. But I realized I can rotate it around and cut it from the other side as well and still have that same 45-degree angle. So I'm gonna slide these up. I'm trying to keep them in order and keep them flat. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my next strip and we are gonna cut it out together. So if you'll remember in my last live stream when I started cutting these, one super important part about this is to make sure that none of the end of my strip is hanging off of my table, because I wondered if that could have caused some distortion from last time when I made this quilt last time with smaller strips, smaller diamonds. And so I'm just gonna make sure that I just kind of drape this side while I cut. So with the previous 3 that I cut, I had the dark strip on the top and I cut from left to right. And this is the piece that I lost out on. So if you look at this here, so you can see that's the same color. And I'm really sad about losing that pink and I want to have that pink. So what I can do is instead this time I'm going to start from this edge and cut, because these will still be 45 degrees and I can rotate them over. So we're going to just confirm this theory. So I'm going to lay this out nice and flat. And then remember, I still have my markings on here where my 45 degrees is going to go like that when I cut it. Okay. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. So now we can see the full screen. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is actually start my 45 degree angle. And so I'm going to line up, sorry, let me scoot that up a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to line up my bottom edge with one of the horizontal lines on my cutting mat so that I know that that's square. And then I'm going to line up that straight line that I just did with my 45 degree here, like so. And then I'm going to slide this along that edge until I get all the way to this corner. And that's going to start my first 45 degree. So even with this one, because I pieced it, I could have staggered these off a little more. That's okay. I knew that I would have some loss. So I did still lose a little bit of pink on this particular strip, but that's okay. Okay, so now I am going to prioritize getting that pink by cutting along this edge. So I'm lining up my 45 degree here, my 4 inches here, and making sure that that top point is staying on the 4 inches, and then also making sure that this bottom corner is also staying on the staying on the 45 degree line. Hi, Melanie, it's good to see you. Okay, so there we go. So now I have an awesome, nice piece of purplish pink, which makes me really happy. So again, I'm trying to avoid losing out on too much pink from my strip sets. And I'm also learning more about this as well, that I could have staggered a little more to avoid the waste. So like, since I knew that my strips were 4 inches wide, that means I could have staggered my design or my strip of fabric by 4 inches or 3 3/4. And then that way, when I do my 45 degree line, I know that I'm gonna only just cut off, like ideally what we want is to only cut off a small corner and not like a piece that is long like this, where we're cutting off quite a bit, right? So I could have shifted that much further over. So that's okay. We're still learning. And by the end of the day, what's most important is that I need 32 times 3, 106 of these pieces. And I can get about 16 to 17 per strip. And I have 6 strips. So, okay. Now I'm going to line these up this way. So I'm going to rotate that back around. So this is what I mean by realizing that I can cut the strips where the dark is either on bottom or on top. So even though I cut this with the dark on the bottom and I cut these ones with the dark on top, I can rotate these around and they're still the exact same shape. So that's really good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to line this up here, and I wonder if I can even spread these a little bit closer together. And I can keep going on that stack as I go. Okay, so this red one is a little bit too red. And this purple, oh, you know what? Okay, so the other difference though is that now my rainbow is going the opposite direction. So that's another thing that I need to be mindful of. So let's see, this is the one I just cut, right? And this one was from my previous. So when we go to collate these, I'm going to need to reverse it. So I can keep cutting these, but I'm actually going to just keep them that direction because I'm going to need to rotate them later. So let's keep on cutting out these bad boys. Melanie, how are you doing? What are you working on this morning? And how is your quilting machine treating you? So Melanie just got a long arm at the beginning of the year. Melanie says, I'm finishing up sewing the strawberry baby quilt so I can take it up to the long arm and it will be my 12th quilt on the long arm. Oh my gosh, way to go. Good for you. That's awesome. That is very impressive, especially for the piecing and the quilting, doing 12 quilts. That's really cool. Good for you. I'm really happy that your machine is working well and you're thriving with it. That's cool. And how is your garden doing? Have you had luck with keeping the bunnies and the critters out with those raised garden beds? These blue pieces are so pretty. Also, Melanie, while you're here, I wanted to try something. So I was able to finally get my my YouTube monetization stuff all figured out. And one of the aspects of it is like ads, getting revenue from running ads. And so I'm curious. Oh, Melanie, she said the garden was for mom and she loves it. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. That's really cool. My garden is popping off right now. I have Roma tomatoes that are really close to harvest time. And my peas have been giving me life the last few weeks. And also my green beans are just about ready to harvest. So I'm excited for that. Okay, so there was something that I wanted to try for this live stream since I am, like I said, I'm just newly getting YouTube monetized. And part of that is when ads run on my videos, people like advertisers pay for advertising space over my videos. And so one of the things that I can do is during a live stream, we can take a little break. And so like if I need to go to the bathroom or I need to grab a drink of water or something, I can set the live stream to be like on a break, like I did a few live streams ago where I just had that like 10-minute timer. However, I can set it so that there's the opportunity that YouTube can run like an advertisement. I think you can still skip it if you want to, but I would be curious to see, like make sure that it all runs smoothly so that when I click the button that it says to click, that it actually works. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind if I tried that during this live stream. And then you could tell me, tell me how it looks and how it works, because I would love to just verify so that I know what I'm doing, since this live streaming stuff is just still really new for me. Okay, so we are getting into the green area. And if you remember, like I said before, we have quite a few greens in the rainbow, like green pieces. And I don't necessarily want that much green if it means sacrificing my pink. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to the overhead. Okay, so this is what I have left. So there's my green, and then here's my edge, my pink. So now if I wanna make sure that I get this pink, I can literally just flip this over and now do the same thing to this other side. And what will happen is, as I cut this way, my selvage or my extra piece will be over here. And I don't know exactly how much that will be, but that's okay, because it's sacrificing my green instead of my pink. I will still have a little bit to sacrifice. And so, which is fine, but I'm gonna just get as much as I can from this side. So again, I'm gonna line up my bottom edge with my cutting mat, and then line up my 45-degree line with my cutting mat so that I get the appropriate angle. And then I'm gonna slide it until I have all of that. Okay, so again, even here, I still did sacrifice some pink because it was shifted closer together. So that's okay. That's just part of the process. But now I'm gonna use my 45-degree line, and now I have as much pink as possible. Okay, and so now, since I'm cutting the same direction as my other strips, I can collate that in here. Okay, so now this is more red. So, and that is more purple. Okay, so those are almost identical, which is good. It's fine, because they're going to be used in different sets, but I at least now have a little more pink to work with. Okay. Oh, so Melanie, I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind, when we take a commercial break, will you let me know what the video looks like? Because now that I can run ads for my channel, with live streaming, you can like say, okay, now we're going to take a break, and we all take a break at the same time. It will play an ad, and I was curious if you would just like verify for me or confirm for me that what it does. I'm just curious what the viewer sees from that side. So that's what I was saying. Okay, so now we can keep going this direction, and then when we get here, once I cut this out, I'll move these and collate them over there so that they're all in the same order. So the reason that I did that with when I got to the green was because I was saying that the green was the color that I had the most of. And so in my color wheel, that's the color that I'm willing to spare in order to guarantee getting more pink pieces along the edge. So I'm kind of just fudging it a little bit so that I can get a really good variation of all the colors. Oh, Melanie said, I did get an ad when I started the live. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good to know as well. See, because one thing that I am a little bit concerned about with running ads during a live stream that I just want to be careful of is I want to make sure that like when people are watching and commenting, that their comments are that, you know, like that people are seeing the same video at the same time so that the comments are not super duper late, you know? So, yeah, like understanding the latency is just something that I'm trying to also gauge so that, like, let's say if I do a live stream where I do a giveaway that is dependent on someone commenting something, I want them to be able to like have a chance to actually comment in time because they're not watching too far back. Or maybe that's just not a good idea because that's the nature of live streaming, is that people are going to be watching different sections of the video at different times. Okay, so I've got this going. Okay, and actually, I wonder if my selvage will actually be very small. Oh, wow. Okay, how about that? Cool. Well, we still got a piece of the green, so that's awesome. I mean, we may not need it. When we collate our pieces together, that's when we will figure out which of the extras can be set aside and not used. But might as well just get as much as I can. So there's just a little bit of excess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and oh, Melanie said Nate's premium status makes his video a smidge sooner. Oh, okay. That's interesting as well. That's good to know. Okay, so I have these pieces that were from the other edge. I'm going to go ahead and rotate them and put them with the rest. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking this and flipping it around and putting it that way and stacking them like so. So that they're back in the same direction as the rest of my rainbow, but still in order. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a little break. We're going to do a 3-minute break. And for those of you watching, I would love for you to let me know what you see during the break so that I can, you know, find out what my settings are for when I do breaks during live streams now that I have a monetized channel. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 minutes. And here we go. sorry, my microphone was off. It did say that there we go. Sorry. It did say to make sure to mute your microphone during the breaks because the sound is still available. Okay, perfect. So Melanie said it played 1 ad so far. Kelly, hello, good to see you. Kelly says, hello, woohoo, finally catching another live. It's weird though because I have notifications on and I was not notified that you were live. I just so happened to stumble across it. Oh, weird. Okay. Dang. Okay, I did notice that with this live stream, usually, okay, so far, I can't really say usually since this is still very new, but so far it seems like when I've gone on live impromptu, I think there are like around 10 people who get notifications and jump on, but this time it did seem pretty quiet for a few minutes at least. So anyways, that's also good to know. So thank you. Okay, I hope that break worked okay. I really should have Andrew watch a live stream when I am streaming so that he can like be right here and tell me what he is seeing. So yeah, because YouTube, it's interesting. I'm learning so much about YouTube and the whole monetization structure, you know, it's awesome and it's cool and it's interesting, but I also just have to be super careful that I don't like mess something up because they are very careful. YouTube is very careful about like making sure that people are not trying to game the system, which I totally understand. That makes sense. As someone who has purchased ad space before on YouTube, like I understand them being protective and making sure that people who are buying ad space are actually like getting the visibility that they are paying for. So I understand when they're like, you can't, like as a content creator, there's a lot of things that you can't do to like kind of game it, which makes sense. And I'm not trying to do that. I definitely am not trying to do that. I am, although, trying to get some of that money so that I can, you know, get paid. So yeah, it's ongoing and it's just such a leap of faith. Like it's very undetermined or like there are no promises made about whether you can have like a viable income by live streaming. But I know that people do it, you know. I know that there are people out there whose entire job is content creation. So I figure I'm already doing content creation, might as well just put it online. Oh, okay. Melanie said ads are popping up over the chat window. Okay, interesting. That's super interesting. So another aspect of monetization that I was able to just unlock is something called super chats. And so that is something that viewers can do just from the comment section. It's basically like a tip jar, like a digital tip jar. So if you ever are watching and you want to do a super chat where it's like basically dropping a little tip in my tip jar, you can also do that as well. So thought I would throw that out there. Also, if you are not interested in doing like a financial support, then liking and sharing the video, or at least hitting the like button, is also really super helpful, because then if I have videos that tell YouTube, hey, a ton of people like this, then they will recommend it to other quilters and people who are looking for this type of content. So that's always helpful as well. Lana says, hi, Karlee. Nice to see you from hot Spain. Hello, it's good to see you. Okay, did I just see this morning, did Spain win the World Cup? I thought I saw something about that, but I wasn't sure. I don't follow the World Cup at all, but Spain sounds beautiful. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. Kelly says, I won't be able to share about ads because I have YouTube Premium. Oh, okay. So, okay, that's another thing I've learned as well. So, like, for those of you who pay for YouTube Premium, I think that another part of being monetized is that I automatically get a tiny portion of your YouTube Premium membership payment. So that's cool too. It's probably microscopic. Like, I have no idea. I think they basically, if someone has a YouTube premium account, like let's say it's $5 a month, and if the only videos that they watch are my videos, then I would get a bigger portion of that $5. But if they watch lots of different videos from lots of different creators who are also monetized, then that revenue would be split among all those creators. So yeah, that's cool too. Okay, so notice here, look how awesome this is. So this is about the amount that I would love to have to cut off of each side. So that's like about the bare minimum because I cut right up against that seam. So this is awesome. I had the same thing with the other edge as well. You can see that I really only cut off triangle portions. That's awesome. So that means I'm getting as much pink as I possibly can, which is great. So I cut through the green and then I flipped it over. So the green is what I'm going to be possibly sacrificing in terms of making sure that I get as much pink as I possibly can. Lana says, yes, we are the champions. Congratulations. That is amazing. That's so awesome. I am so happy for Spain. I have a quilting friend who actually just moved to Spain about a year ago. And I definitely have envy. I would love to go and visit Spain. I've never been to Spain. I've been to a few different countries, but not Spain. I've been to England and Ireland and Scotland and Canada and Norway and Greece and Mexico. But I've never been to Spain. I would love to go to Spain, and I would really love to go to Croatia. That is another place that I would really love to visit someday. So yeah, hello from Spain. What time is it in Spain right now? I'm curious. I've been live streaming at all different times of day, and I think that's good. I almost feel like maybe that is better than having a set schedule of live streams, because then I'm kind of spreading things out so that people with all different schedules can still have some opportunity to hang out together. So it's cool to see people in my chat from all over the world. My friend, she's a quilter. Oh, it's about 5 p.m. Okay, awesome. It is 8:48 here in Utah right now, 8:48 in the morning. Her name is Julia Walks, and she actually is a really great paper piecing, foundation paper piecing pattern designer. I'm trying to remember what her business name is, and it's escaping me at the moment, but yeah, she moved to Spain, and I was talking to her about it at QuiltCon because she came to QuiltCon, and you know, I was just like, how has it been? And she's like, honestly, really amazing. It's been kind of hard because it's just such a different culture, but she was like, honestly, I was very happy to be in a place like Spain, and she said that she has loved it, so that's awesome. Maybe now that she lives there, I can make more of a point to go because I would have somebody to visit. So, but anywhere in the world could be a fun adventure. Oh, okay. Lana says there is a beautiful quilt festival in Spain, in Barcelona in March. Okay, well, there we go. Sounds like I need to go to Spain in March. All right, we are making progress. We have this strip left to cut, and then one more after this. And then the collating will begin. And once the collating is done, we can start actually piecing our like our 9-patch blocks together. These colors are so pretty. All right, and it looks like we will not be sacrificing too much green on this strip too, because I definitely have 4 inches plus some. But again, if the green is what we're sacrificing, then that's okay, because that's kind of the point, is to sacrifice some of the green to give us some of the pink. Okay, so we've got one more strip. So really all we lost was this section that lines up right here. See that? So we're going to put that aside, and now we are going to stack these back together. And, oh, wait, yes, okay, that's right. Green and blue, and I just want them stacked the same direction. Okay, so now when we go to cut our final strip, I'm going to slide that back up. We can pick up where we left off with that rainbow. And when we get to about the green area, we can rotate this and flip it around and do the other side to get that pink. Okay, so remember, for the first cut of our 45-degree lines, we are going to line up with the cutting mat so that it is angled properly. Okay, so this one, we're probably gonna just lose a little more of the middle than we are the edges. Like, it's probably gonna hit this point. Okay, so I'm gonna line up my 45-degree line on my ruler with this line here, like so. And then now see how I have some under here? So I'm gonna slide this along until I hit one of those corners. So right there, okay. Okay, so that's what we had to sacrifice, and now we can start on our 4-inch strip cuts. And that just goes right there perfectly. Okay, I'm gonna slide this over. we're starting to get into the green. I think I will cut one more green, and then we will flip it around and do the other one. Okay, so again, whenever I do my first 45-degree cut, I'm going to line up my bottom edge with my cutting mat so that I know that it's perfectly horizontal. And then I'm going to line up my 45-degree piece of tape with that same line. So like that. So that's my 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to slide it until I hit one of these corners so that I know I'm getting as much as possible. Okay, about right there. Okay, I am just finishing up this last strip. Let's go ahead and take another 3-minute break, and then we will be back. I'm going to try this break again for 3 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay, so one thing I learned about setting up the breaks is that it'll do, like it just has a timer for a 3-minute break, and then I had to click a separate button that says insert ad. So maybe you saw an ad, maybe you didn't, I'm not sure. It looks like this is something that, like I said, it's very new. I literally just got monetized like yesterday, and I just enabled ads for monetization like today. So I'm going to watch some more YouTube videos of other content creators, and there's like YouTube specific like videos for YouTube creators to show me like what to do so that you guys don't have to be my guinea pig all the time. But so I clicked the take a break button, and then about a minute into it, there's a separate button that says insert ad. And so I clicked that. So I wonder if you guys saw an ad or not, but yeah. Okay, so I am on my last one here, my last strip. So let me go to the overhead. One ad for 30 seconds. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Okay, so here's my last strip here. Okay, so this is now the piece that I'm sacrificing in exchange for more pink, like we talked about. And that was my last strip of the 6 strips. So let me move this out of the way. And now I can relay these and get them all in order. This might be my favorite strip. Like you can just see that transition really beautifully. It's really awesome. Okay, so now that we have this here. Oh, Purple says it plays both the video and the ad on split screen. Sound and visual for both. No ad for me. I saw you cutting the whole time. Okay. Okay, that is good to know. Thank you guys. Thanks. I really appreciate the feedback. That is really helpful. And thank you for being patient and not like annoyed with it. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's super helpful for me to know what you guys are seeing. But I also, don't want you to just think that like this whole thing is about me trying to siphon money or something. It's kind of a balancing act of both. So yeah, so thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate it. I'm still learning a bunch all the time. Okay, so let's move on to the next step, which is the collating of the strips so that we can turn them into our diamonds. So cute, so fun. I'm really excited for this part. It feels like kind of doing a puzzle, so I'm excited to put these together. Okay, so we have all of our strips here. Now, before I start collating, I'm going to count these just one more time and do some math just to make sure that we have what we need. Because if I have like more than I need, then I might just pull out my extra pieces now so that I don't use them later. Like I want to be mindful about which pieces are coming out. So I'm going to start kind of spreading this apart so that I can see all of these and make sure that I can count them all. So we are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just going to, actually I'm going to do 12, 11, 12. Okay, so there's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 12 is 77, 84, 94. Okay, so we have 94 pieces. So let's see, let me grab my calculator here. Actually, I can do this on my computer. Okay, so 94 pieces divided by 3. 31.3. Oh my gosh, okay, I do not have enough because I can only make 31 and I need to make 32. How did I miss out on that? Because I thought each strip would give me 17, but some of them must have given me less. Okay, so I need to make 32. So I'm short by 2 whole sets, 2 whole ones of these guys. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. It just means that I'm going to need to order another panel. And that's okay. I'll have some leftover fabric. And what that also teaches me, did I count those correctly? Now I'm getting paranoid because I feel like I was supposed to have plenty. But I guess with some of them, like with one of the strips, I had to cut off a decent amount, and the other strip, there was definitely that one pink strip where I really cut off a lot. Right here. I mean, okay, what I could do, I could salvage these by sewing more together. Like this one, that one was like almost a full strip. So I could potentially, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's okay. I feel like I counted wrong. Like maybe there's some that are stacked underneath because I did stack them really tight. So I'm gonna, okay, let's count these again just to be extra. Okay, and I'm gonna spread these out even more to just make sure there's no overlap at all. Because it could be that, oh yeah, see, okay, there's one that I already missed. Here's another one that I may have missed when I was counting. Okay, so some of these I may have just missed because they were just collated too tight. So what I need, okay, so I need 32 times 3. 32 times 3, 96. So I need 96 of these pieces total. And now I'm like, did I miss some somewhere? Oh, here's another one that I could have missed because they were just stacked on top of each other too tightly. Here's another one I could have missed too. Okay, let's count these again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll count them in tens this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're getting really close. And 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 96. Oh my gosh. Okay. We had like, y'all, 96. That's what we need, right? 96 exactly. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I just counted wrong and gave myself a little heart attack for nothing. But what's quilting if you don't have, you know, a couple little mental breakdowns in between? Okay, so we have exactly 96. Great. And I don't think I overcounted. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do, this is a fun part. Okay, let's go ahead and take one more break because I really have to go to the bathroom. And then we will collate all of these together to get them into our sets of 3 so that we can turn them into this. So I'm going to try this take a break feature one more time, and then we will be back. Okay, so we just did another 3-minute break. Also, my friend Julia that I was telling you about who moved to Spain, I posted her website in the comment section so you could see her patterns. She has some really, really super cute patterns on her website. And oh, she has an email newsletter. I'm going to sign up for that real quick. Email newsletters are a really great way to support people, especially independent artists, because, oh, and you get 10% off your order when you sign up for her newsletter. Because one thing that's really hard about the social media game as a content creator and a designer is the algorithm not showing your stuff to people. So if you want to keep in touch with designers, the best way to do that is usually their newsletter. So anyways, her website is there, and yeah. Okay, Purple says, ad came up on mine as split screen again for one short ad, but no sound on your side was the only difference. Okay, so this time I turned off my sound so that you couldn't hear my microphone. So when I do a break, I just had to go to the bathroom and didn't want you guys to hear me going to the bathroom. So I turned my sound off for that. So, okay, that's good to know that there are ads and it's a split screen. That's interesting. So, that's cool. Because I wonder, okay, so the other thing I wonder is if I wonder if the start break button is literally just a countdown timer, because there's also a button here that says insert ad. And I think if I click that, it would probably just pop up an ad that you would watch at the same time that I'm still quilting. I'm not going to do that right now. And I need to like figure out if that's annoying or not to do at all, but I just don't know exactly what that button will do. So anyways, okay, this is a really exciting part of making the Lone Star ombre rainbow quilt, because as you can see, we have these gorgeous rainbows here in place. And the next thing to do is turn them into our diamonds. And that's a fun part, because this is where we start to kind of mix and match and get things out of order just a little bit so that we can see that like rainbow ombre variation. But each block is going to be a little bit different because we're starting to just like shift the fabrics. That shifting started when we were sewing our strips together and choosing different various lengths to sew them, right? So like that each of those dark, medium, and light rainbows are shifted just subtly, very subtly. I didn't shift them a ton. You could shift them a ton, but you would need to be careful that you don't shift them so far that your selvage is so long that all of a sudden you are losing out on how many of these pieces you actually get in a single strip, right? Because we needed 96 and we, I think, just got 96. So if we collate these into sets of 3 and we end up with a remainder of 1 or 2, then I counted wrong. But anyways, we're going to do our best. I honestly wouldn't mind ordering this fabric again anyways and trying this project again at a different scale and like playing with it a little more. Oh, wait, okay. So I was going to say I had leftover fabric of each of the variations. However, my light color, my light shade is not 4 inches wide. And so I wouldn't be able to make another strip set because my light, even though my dark and my medium, I have enough of, my light I wouldn't have enough of. So anyways, I had some leftover of the panel of the dark and the medium, but because I don't have the light, I would need to pull the light from another panel. So anyways, okay, so let's go back to the overhead camera and we are going to collate our strip sets together to start making them into diamonds, which is really going to be beautiful. Okay, so I've got this here. I am going to shift these down now because I'm going to work my way through the rainbow with what I've got. Okay, so when I say collate pieces, here's what I mean. So we need a set of 3 of these strips to work together. Now, what I don't want to do is put 2 strips next to each other that were cut next to each other, okay? I don't want this variation to line back up because then you're not gonna see the seam. I want more color variation, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, like, if we numbered these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Then I'm gonna take piece number 1 and I'm gonna skip piece number 2 and I'm going to take piece number 3. Okay, so I'm going to get more variation in my diamond. So if we look at this one, same idea where you can see very distinctly the 9 different colors. Okay, I want the seam to show. I want it to be obvious that these are not the same color. Okay, so then instead of piece, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of piece number 4, I'm going to choose piece number 5. Now, this is not an exact science with the numbers. It's just I want a deep enough variation, but I don't want to get too far away in the color scheme. Okay, so like I wouldn't go so far as to take this green one here and put it there, because green and pink, like I don't want colors too far away from each other in the same diamond block. And green is like too far removed, right? There's pink, orange, or sorry, not orange, pink, purple, blue, green. So I don't want more than 3 colors of variation in the same diamond. I want this to read as like a cool color, but there's still warmth in there. So I'm not going to put green. Okay. So we're going to collate these as we go along our whole stack of sets. So I'm happy with this one. Now the other thing I need to make sure of is that however I stack these so that I'm ready to piece them, I know which side goes where, because I talked about this in the last video. What I wouldn't want to do is stack these up like this, and then when I go to piece them together, I accidentally piece them like this, because now my rainbow is going the opposite direction. Okay, so if I stack them like that, I should always stack them with like pink, blue, purple, green. Like my rainbow should always go the same direction. And then I'm going to make a mental note that anytime I lay out a new set of blocks, I just need to make sure that the rainbow is going left to right. So this is like where I get a little bit militant about the rainbow. Like the rainbow goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink. Every time, always. If there's any shade of those colors, they need to be in that order for me, because I am a rainbow police, as we concluded in our last live stream. Lana says, thank you, Karlee, for sharing the website of your friend. I just had a look and she has awesome designs. Yeah, she is a great designer. Very, very good designer. So again, keeping that rainbow in mind, that means that when I have a set put together, if I put the furthest to the left on the bottom, and then when I stack these, I need to always make sure that my top one goes to the right and my middle one, middle, bottom to the left. So top to the right, bottom to the left. Okay, so now this strip set is complete and I can set that to the side, and then I'll show you how I'm going to stack these up. Okay, so now again, here's our next 3 that these could fit well together. Okay, but I could collate these even a little bit more like that. Okay, so remember that these 2 were already not right next to each other because I used what was between them in my previous one. So I like that one. So I'm going to stack those. Okay, and now I'm going to stack this like this. So notice dark, dark, light, light. But when I go to piece these, I'm just going to have the stacks of each one. And I'm going to set them this way so that I remember which way they need to go. Okay. And the color is always going to be my guide. Okay, so now we have another set here. So these I feel like are fairly close together. So I'm going to skip that one and do this one. And then this one. So those 3. Okay, so these are fairly close, but they're not so close together that they're obvious, but they're still in like the green-blue phase. Okay, so there's my next one. I'm gonna set that to the side and then go again. Okay, so let's maybe, those are kind of close, but this does have some good blue in it. So I think I'm okay with that. And that's fairly different. I think orange would be a little too risky with blue. So I'm happy with this. Okay, so sometimes the degree of separation is literally only one strip difference, and that's totally okay. Okay, because ideally what we're gonna have is some yellow with green, but then some yellow with orange. Okay, so now I don't want these right next to each other because those were literally from the same spot in the strip. So I'm gonna skip that one. And then same with this one as well. So we'll do this like that. Okay, so see how these are starting to kind of naturally come together? Okay, so these two I like, but this one I could go a little further and do this. Okay, so again, I'm putting the left on the bottom, the right on the top. Okay, we're gonna keep spreading these out. So now we've got purple, pink, purple, blue, but those are right next to each other, so I can't use those, so I have to skip at least one. Okay. Now keep in mind that when you use this panel, the distance that you cut your strips is going to make a difference as well. Like there's going to be less variation if you cut your strips wider and do this on a bigger scale. It's going to be more kind of pixelated the smaller you do your strips. Okay, so like this one, see how now it's like there are 9 different colors that are all reading as blue, whereas this one, it's gonna be harder to get 9 colors that all read as blue without using ones that are right next to each other. So see how like now every diamond that I have is going to not just read as a single color. That's because I'm taking more of my gradient with me with each strip because I cut bigger strips. So if I were doing this at the 2.5 inch scale like I did with these, it's going to be more variable because that ombre fabric has so many different shades that it is going to like you're pulling out smaller sections and see those different color variations. Okay, so I almost feel like I need to order another one of these panels and just do it on a smaller scale just to show the possibility of the variations. Kelly says, sent star for 2 jewels. What does that mean? Is that another thing? Like, okay, so I've also seen in the super chat, engage. Okay, so let's see, that's a poll. Super stickers. So you can send super chats and super stickers. Okay, and both of those are like tips, donations. So that's cool. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't know what you meant, Kelly, by saying sent star for 2 jewels. Okay, so let's go with our next one here. So that looks pretty good. I like that. And does that seem far enough away, or should we do the yellow? I feel like we shouldn't do the yellow. I mean, yeah, I feel like we have one that feels very blue, green, green. So I think I'm gonna do the yellow. Now here's the other thing that's also great about this. Because we are collating through each strip individually, we are gonna have some blocks that are a little more varying than other blocks, meaning our sets, right? So this is like blue, green, yellow, whereas the previous strip set, when we were using those, it might have just been blue, green, green. Okay, so we're starting to see those variations better. Okay, so those are pretty, oh, those are together, so we can't do that. So what that means is we are gonna have to do green, orange, which I don't love, guys. I really don't, I don't love it. See, that's the hard part about not having as much yellow as I would like. Okay. So my collating got a little bit off, but I feel like I have to keep it going. So are these the exact same color? Okay, so let's do this. Was this the yellow? Okay, so we definitely don't want orange if we have a yellow to use. Okay, so let's back up one. So see how these are together? I'm gonna back up just one here. And instead, let's see if we can use this one here. And this one here. Do those line up? Nope, they don't, so that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna switch those out. And now I can do these two at least, but that gets my green used up because it's like my green was shifting over too much. But I can't use these together because those were right next to each other. So I'm gonna have to do orange in here. And I think it'll be okay. Because again, it's still 3 colors in the spectrum. It's orange, yellow, green. It's not like orange, yellow, blue. So that's good. Okay, I feel like we kind of skirted around that one and we got away with it. All right, so now those read well. And then this one, those go right next to each other. So we have to skip that one. And I like that. That looks good. Okay, so we're starting to make these diamonds that are varying in color, and it's going to be so amazing when we start to lay them out in their diamond form. So Melanie is asking, why not grab farther in the stack? So we can do that. So let's do this. I'm going to collate this whole stack, and so we're going to have to keep going. Okay, so what I don't want to happen is to have 4 colors from the rainbow in the same set of 3. So for instance, I can have blue, purple, pink, but I couldn't have blue, purple, orange, or blue, pink, orange, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, is not jumping too far into the stack, because I want these colors to be next to each other in the color wheel, but not right next to each other in the strip. So like again, with this one, I couldn't use that because those are literally from the same part of the strip. So I need to skip that one. So the collating here is happening this way because I chose a 4-inch strip. It would be very different if I did a smaller strip. So if I did a 3-inch strip or 2.5-inch strip, I would be able to jump further because it's just splitting the colors that I'm using into more like fine-tuned splits, if that makes sense. Okay, so really, honestly, I almost feel like you wouldn't want to do this particular panel and this particular quilt larger than 4 inches. It seems like 4 inches is about as far as I would like to go before these pieces really start to show more ombre effect. And it makes it harder for you to be able to grab 2 strip sets that were not right next to each other without getting too much of the rainbow in the same diamond block. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. Like I hope y'all are like, yeah, this makes sense, instead of being like, what is this cuckoo banana sandwich talking about? Okay, so we're continuing to collate these. So those were not right next to each other, but I could potentially afford to skip that one and give myself more variation here. And more green here. See that? Again, it's like the green, green, blue, where those are very, very, very similar. But I could do green, green, well, like almost yellow, green, blue. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that. See, these greens, I'm now learning more about how I designed the panel and what that ends up doing to the overall composition of the quilt. Okay, so now let's do yellow like this. Okay, and we are going to have to pause and take a break really quick. So I am going to, my kids are awake, so I might need to jump off. Actually, I should probably just do that. Instead of taking a break, I will keep this as it is, and then when I jump on my live stream again, we will pick up right where we left off. But yeah, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that will be awesome. And yeah, I'm going to go be a mom now, and we will pick up on this later. So until then, happy quilting.